John sat alone in his small house on the edge of New Nevada, Earth's last desert city. 12 years had passed since the Mars mission failed. 12 years since his wife, Evelyn, disappeared during the operation. Everyone said she was dead. But John never believed it. The world had changed. Earth was quieter now. After the final alien war, humans had won, but at a terrible cost. John had retired, living with old machines and older memories. Then one night, something strange happened. His home system flickered, lights dimmed, screens flashed. A voice came from the speaker, low and broken. It was Evelyn's voice. "John," she said, "if you're seeing this, I'm already gone." He froze, heart pounding. Her voice was exactly the same, full of calm and sadness. "I can't explain everything," she continued, "but you must know the truth." The screen showed her face older, tired but alive. "I never died, John," she said. "But I had to disappear." He leaned forward, watching. "Every detail, I lied to protect you," she said. "But the time for lies is over." There was static in the background. Alarms. "I left something for you, John." A set of coordinates flashed across the screen. A location on the moon. A place called Sector 9 Black. A dead zone, cut off from Earth's network. Nobody was supposed to go there. Then Evelyn looked straight into the camera and said words that broke him. "You never knew the real me." The message ended. John sat in silence. The screen black, his hands trembled. He whispered, "What are you talking about, Evelyn?" Suddenly, the house shook. Old machines turned on by themselves. The garage door opened, revealing his old shuttle, the ship he hadn't touched in years. It was ready, glowing with power. A voice from the shuttle's AI system echoed, "Destination uploaded, Sector 9 Black." It wasn't John's voice that commanded it. It was Evelyn's. Pre-recorded. John stood there, mind spinning. He didn't know what was real anymore. Why would Evelyn fake her death? What was in Sector 9 Black? He packed fast, grabbing an old flight suit and tools. He took her photo, the one thing he had left, and stepped into the shuttle. The door closed behind him, sealing the past outside. As the engines powered up, the same voice returned. "You're already too late," it said. But it wasn't Evelyn's voice this time. It was something else, something non-human. John's hands shook as he gripped the controls. Too late, for what? He asked the empty air. No answer came, only silence. He looked at Earth one last time as the shuttle launched, the blue planet shrinking behind him. His mind full of questions. Who was Evelyn, really? Why had she hidden the truth? And what did she mean by, "You never knew the real me"? The moon grew closer on the screen, but John knew he wasn't just flying to a place. He was flying toward a truth he might not survive, a truth that started with a goodbye message and ended with the woman he thought he knew. He thought of her smile, her laugh. Their years together, were those real memories? Or were they part of the lie? As Sector 9 Black came into view, his heart pounded faster. The area looked dead from orbit. No signals, no lights, just black metal ruins under the dust. But something blinked in the dark. A light waiting for him, or watching. The shuttle began landing automatically. John didn't touch a thing. The system had full control. It knew exactly where to go. Exactly where she wanted him to be when the ship touched down. The doors didn't open. Instead, a screen lit up in front of him. One last message from Evelyn. "If you find this place, then you still love me," she said. "But I need you to know what you loved was only half of me." John's chest tightened. What was the other half? He whispered. The screen glitched again, and her voice returned. "Please, John, don't hate me." Then the door opened, revealing darkness beyond, and something moved in the shadows. Something watching him. John stepped out of the ship, into the cold, silent dust of the moon, and began the walk toward the truth. The truth that might destroy everything he believed, including the memory of the woman he loved. The moon was colder than John remembered. His boots crunched softly on gray dust as he walked toward the strange black structure. It rose from the ground like a forgotten tower, half buried, half hidden. No flags, no markings, nothing human about it. But his shuttle had brought him straight here. Evelyn had brought him here. The door opened on its own. No code, no scanner. Just a slow, deep hiss, like something breathing. Inside was complete darkness, until lights flickered on from the floor. Pale blue, one step at a time. Guiding him deeper, John's hands stayed near his tool belt. He didn't trust anything in here, especially not the silence. It wasn't dead silence. It was listening silence. At the end of the tunnel was a small room, a single chair, a table, and a glowing screen. As soon as John stepped inside the screen, activated, he wasn't surprised anymore. He expected Evelyn, and she appeared. A video played. Recorded years ago, Evelyn stood in a lab. Wearing a different suit than he'd ever seen, it looked alien, silver and moving like liquid metal. She looked into the camera, not smiling this time. "If you're watching this, then you're inside Black Sector," she said. "I wish I could explain everything, but I can't." John's heart sank again. More secrets. Always more secrets. "This place was never approved by Earth Command," she continued. "They told the world we were exploring Mars. But the truth is, we made contact first and we hid it. The screen changed to show strange shapes. Blueprints, creature scans, alien tech, nothing like human machines. We found them near Jupiter," Evelyn said. "They weren't aggressive, they were dying." John leaned forward, eyes locked. This was the truth. Finally, we were told to study them. "Copy them, then erase them," she said. "But I couldn't. I stayed behind. I became one of them." The screen cut out. Darkness returned. John whispered to himself, "What does that even mean?" Suddenly, the table opened. A small cube rose from inside. Glowing softly, John touched it, and the room changed. The walls melted into transparent glass, and outside, underground chambers lit up. Inside them were machines, giant, silent, sleeping. And inside the machines were shapes, not human, not alien. Something in between, they're hybrids, said a voice behind him. John spun around, fists tight. But there was no one there, just a voice, Evelyn's voice again. But this time, live, not recorded. "You're seeing what they feared," she said. "Proof that peace was possible." John asked, "Where are you? Are you alive?" Silence answered him for a moment. Then the voice returned. "I'm not the same Evelyn you remember," she said. "But I'm still me. You just never saw all of me." John's head ached with questions. Why didn't she tell him? Why did she vanish instead of trusting him? "Because they would have killed you," she said. "You were watched, John. Every message, every step. I had to protect you the only way I could, by disappearing." A tear rolled down John's cheek. "I would have come with you," he said. "I would have chosen you over them." The cube in his hand glowed brighter. The hybrids outside the glass moved slightly, breathing, alive, not dead at all. "You have to make a choice now," Evelyn said. "Leave and forget, or stay and learn everything. But if you stay, Earth will see you as a traitor." John looked down at his hands. He had nothing left on Earth. No family, no job, only pain and lies. He clenched the cube tighter. "I want the truth," he said. "Even if it kills me." The floor beneath him shifted. A platform carried him downward, deeper underground. The walls were lined with alien writing, softly glowing. As he descended, Evelyn's voice grew quieter, almost like a whisper in his mind. "When you reach the next level, they will test you," she said. "Not your strength, your memory, your honesty. your regret. I'll decide if you're worthy to understand what I became. John stepped off the platform into a large, dome-shaped chamber. In the center was a massive pillar of light. Floating inside, it was something. Or someone, human in shape, but glowing like a star. He walked closer. And the shape inside turned. It had Evelyn's face, but her eyes were golden, not human anymore. Not alien, something new. The chamber shook, and alarms began to ring somewhere above. Something had found him, or followed him. John, Evelyn's voice echoed. You have 1 minute before they arrive. Decide now. He looked up, heart racing. Was this real? Was it a trap? Or was she truly trying to show him a better way? As he reached out toward the light, a shadow passed behind him. Something large and not friendly. And then everything went dark. John woke up on a cold metal floor. His head hurt and everything around him was dark and quiet. The last thing he remembered was reaching toward the glowing pillar. Then a shadow, then nothing. Now, he was in a new room. It wasn't the same. Glowing dome from before, this room was smaller, almost like a vault. A single chair sat in the center. Beside it, a strange helmet connected to wires and blinking lights. A voice echoed above him, soft and familiar. You're not dead, John. Evelyn said, you passed the first test. John sat up slowly, muscles aching. What kind of test was that? He asked. Fear, Evelyn replied. They had to see if you would run or stay. A soft light filled the room. The walls changed, like glass screens turning on, and suddenly, scenes from the past appeared around him. His past, Evelyn's past, and memories he had never seen before. What is this place? He whispered, standing up. This is the memory vault, she answered. It holds every moment I couldn't share with you. He stepped closer to the glass walls. One memory played on a screen, young Evelyn in a lab, arguing with someone. We can't just kill them, she shouted. They're not a threat, they're a warning. The man in the video wore an Earth's Command uniform. He slammed his hand on the table. Our orders are clear. We take their tech, erase the rest. We can't let humans know they're not the first intelligent life. John's heart pounded. He had worked with Earth Command for years. But he never knew this side of the story. More memories played. Evelyn training with alien devices, her DNA changing slowly as she used them. Each time, her eyes glowed brighter, her voice calmer. In one memory, she sat alone, whispering to the camera, John, I hope one day you see this. I'm sorry for leaving. But the truth was too dangerous. John stepped away from the wall, his hands shaking. Why didn't you tell me? He said, I was your husband. The screen changed again. Now it showed a memory of their home on Earth, John and Evelyn cooking together. Laughing, she looked happy, but her eyes in the reflection told a different story. They were hiding something. I tried, her voice said again, but Earth Command had me watched every day. If I had spoken, you would have died first. A panel opened in the floor, revealing a smooth black disc. The helmet on the chair began to glow. This is the final memory, Evelyn said. But to see it, you have to wear the interface. John hesitated, staring at the helmet. What's in the memory? He asked, the part of me you never met, she said. The part that chose them over Earth. He slowly sat down in the chair and placed the helmet on his head. Instantly, his eyes filled with light. He was no longer in the vault. He stood in a different place, a wide alien city, glowing with energy. Tall towers floated above the ground, and the sky shimmered with strange colors. Beside him, Evelyn stood, not human, not alien, something new. Her skin shimmered like stars. Her hair floated like light, but her voice was the same. Welcome to what could have been, she said. She walked through the city, showing him everything. The aliens had invited humans to join their knowledge to evolve. But Earth's command Wanted control, not peace. I saw their fear, Evelyn said. They were ready to wipe us out, but I gave them something. What? John asked. A reason to hope. She said, my body, my mind, my loyalty. They let me live, and in return, I became the first bridge between species. The city faded, and now the memory turned darker. Ships in flames. Earth Command. Attacking the alien zone, Evelyn standing in front of a child-sized alien. Shielding it with her body, they called me a traitor. She said, but I called it love. The memory ended, and John ripped off the helmet. Gasping, tears filled his eyes. Everything he believed, everything he trusted, was wrong. He wasn't. Married to a hero of Earth, he was married to a hero of peace. And the world had buried her story in silence. The vault doors opened slowly, and Evelyn's voice returned. Now you know, she said. Now you must decide. Another door opened. Beside him dark, quiet, leading upward, and another, glowing. Leading further into the underground base, one leads back to Earth, Evelyn said. The other leads to the truth behind the war. John looked at both doors, and just as he stepped toward the glowing one, the floor shook violently, red lights. Flashed alarms rang. A robotic voice warned, unauthorized life forms approaching. Time to base lock, 90 seconds. Something was coming. John ran toward the deeper door. The door closed behind him with a hiss in the distance. Something let out a high-pitched screech. Not human, not machine. Something angry, something hunting. And in that moment, John knew. This wasn't just Evelyn's story anymore. It was his too. John ran down a narrow tunnel. The glowing walls pulsing red. Each step echoed like a drum, chased by alarms and shadows behind him. The sound of something sharp scraping against metal followed. It wasn't a machine. It wasn't fully alive. It was something in between. The door had closed behind him, but it wouldn't hold for long. Whatever was hunting him was strong, and it was getting closer. John's breath was heavy, heart pounding ahead. The tunnel opened into another wide chamber. This one was filled with screens and holograms. A control room, untouched for years. In the center of the room floated a glowing interface as he stepped. Closer, the system activated. Evelyn's voice returned, calm but urgent. John. Listen carefully, she said. They found you, which means Earth Command knows you're here. They'll do anything to stop this information from reaching the surface. The screen showed images of Earth's satellites moving, military crafts rerouting. His name flashing in red across databases. Status, traitor. It said, target, eliminate. John stared at the screen in disbelief. I served Earth. Command for 20 years, he said. I gave them everything. They don't want your loyalty now, Evelyn said. They want silence. A new alert popped up. An attack squad was already in lunar orbit, heading his way. Time was running. Out on another screen, he saw a hidden message Evelyn had left. It was a broadcast file, coded with her memories, proof of the alien contact. The betrayal. The peace treaty Earth rejected. If this file reaches Earth, she said, the truth will break everything, but it has to be your choice, John. Looked around the room. He had two options: send the file now and risk immediate destruction, or escape with it and find a safer way to tell the world. The walls shook violently. A loud crash echoed from the tunnel behind. The thing had broken through. John grabbed the data drive and ran toward the far exit. It led into a docking bay. Inside, buried in the dust, was an old lunar transport pod. Small, fast, unarmed. He jumped in, powered it on, but nothing happened. Dead battery. The screen blinked. A message. Emergency power. 1 launch remaining. But there was a catch. The ship could send 1 transmission. Or make 1 launch, not both. John looked at the blinking drive in his hand. The truth of the galaxy, Evelyn's sacrifice. All of it one message away from being known. Behind him, the door opened. A creature crawled inside, tall and thin, part metal, part bone. Its face was covered with wires, but in its eyes there was pain. Help. It whispered. John froze. Please. Help us. It wasn't there to kill him. It was there to warn him. Earth's command hadn't just silenced Evelyn. They had used her research to build monsters like this. Half human, half Phalian designed. To erase all evidence, the creature looked at the screen. Then at John. You must send it, it said, or they will do this to others. John reached for the controls. Hands shaking, he made his choice. He uploaded the memory file. He pointed. It's straight at Earth's broadcast grid. And hit transmit. The signal shot out like a beam of light. The creature sighed and collapsed. A sad, broken sound, like someone finally set free. But now the pod had no power left. He was trapped. Red lights flashed across the bay. Earth. Command had arrived on the screen above. A message appeared. Illegal transmission detected. Asset marked for termination. Ships landed outside. Doors opened. Soldiers in black armor marched in with weapons. John stood there, unarmed. He raised his hands. I didn't betray Earth, he said. I revealed the truth. They didn't answer. They only pointed their weapons. Then, something unexpected happened. A second transmission signal appeared a known source. It wasn't from John, it was from Evelyn. A live signal. She was still alive. A figure appeared on the screen. She wasn't completely human anymore. Her eyes glowed gold, her skin shimmered with energy. Earth Command soldiers, she said calmly. You are following false orders. This man is not your enemy. The soldiers paused, confused. Her presence disturbed them. She was supposed to be dead. This station is about to collapse, she continued. If you value your lives, leave now. Sirens roared. The floor cracked. Dust fell from the ceiling. The soldiers looked at each other, then slowly began backing out. John watched them go, not with fear, but with relief. The system voice warned again. Base collapse in 60 seconds. Evelyn, John called. How are you alive? Her image smiled gently. You were never alone, she said. You just weren't ready to see me yet. The screen flickered. Her final words echoed in his ears. Find me, she whispered. Before they do, the pod shook violently. John ran toward the service hatch. There was one route left, a maintenance shaft deep beneath the base, as the floor split behind him. John jumped, sliding into darkness, clutching the drive and the last hope for a peaceful future. John dropped into the maintenance shaft just as the floor above collapsed. Heat and metal rained behind him, lighting up the tunnel like fire. He slid down the narrow chute. Arms pressed tight against his body. The tunnel twisted and turned, until finally it spat him out into a cold chamber below. He lay still for a moment, catching his breath. The chamber was different, quiet, cleaner, newer. It wasn't ruined like the rest of the base. It felt protected, hidden for a purpose. Blue lights glowed softly from the walls. A single door stood ahead, marked with a symbol he didn't recognize. Not Earth Command, not alien. Something in between. John walked forward, the drive still tight in his hand. He passed the door, and it opened slowly without sound. Inside, everything changed. He stepped into a massive round room, and at the center of it stood something he never thought he would see again. Evelyn, not a memory, not a recording, not a voice from a speaker. She stood there, alive, glowing softly. But she wasn't the same woman he had married. Her hair shimmered with silver strands. Her skin had a golden glow. Her eyes, once blue, were now deep, brilliant gold. But when she spoke, her voice was the same. "Hello, John," she said gently. You found me. John couldn't speak. He stared at her like a man seeing a ghost. But ghosts don't breathe, and Evelyn was breathing. He took a slow step forward. I thought you died, he said. They told me you were gone. I had to let them believe that, she replied. If Earth's command knew what I had become, they would have hunted me to the edge of the stars. John's voice broke. What? Did you become Evelyn? She stepped closer, and her hands touched his. Something new, she said. Not human, not alien, but the bridge between both. How is that possible? He whispered. She nodded toward the walls, and they lit up. Memories filled the room, showing what had really happened during her final mission. Evelyn had been taken by the alien species, but not as a prisoner. They were dying, their race too. Old, too weak, but they offered her a choice: share their knowledge. Merge her DNA with theirs. Become a vessel of peace and memory. They didn't want war, Evelyn said. They wanted someone to carry their legacy. I became that. Someone. John watched a memory of her transformation. Her body in a pod, her cells changing, her eyes glowing for the first time. It looked painful, beautiful, impossible, but the result was standing right in front of him. I wanted to come back, she said, but Earth's command wouldn't accept. Me? They saw me as a threat. John's hands trembled. They turned you into a monster in every report. He said, they said you were unstable, dangerous. I know, she said softly. But I never blamed you for believing them. I never believed them, he replied, voice shaking. I believed in you, always. Her eyes softened. I'm still me, John, she said. The same woman who drank tea with you at midnight. Who laughed at your bad jokes, but I'm also something more. Suddenly, an alarm echoed through the chamber, not from inside, but from orbit. A warning signal flashed on the wall. Earth Command had detected Evelyn's signal. They were sending a quantum strike. A blast that would erase everything in this base, including her. They won't let you live, John said, panic rising. They know you're still here. Evelyn nodded slowly. That's why you must go, she said. I can shield this place for a few minutes, enough for you to escape. No. John said firmly, I didn't come this far just to lose you again. You didn't lose me, she said gently. You found the real me. He stepped closer. Holding her hand tightly, there must be another way, he said. There's always another way. Her eyes filled with sadness and something else, hope. There is, she said, but it means changing everything. She turned to a panel on the wall. A pod opened behind her, small and built for one. This chamber is connected to the alien core network, she explained. If you enter the pod, it will begin the merging process. You'll become like me. John's eyes widened. You mean? Not human anymore? Still human, she said. But more than that, if we both survive, she continued. We could take their message to the stars. John looked at the pod, then back at her. A choice stood in front of him: leave now, and return to Earth. As a hero, or stay, risk everything, and become something the world didn't understand. I didn't come here to run, he said. I came here for you. Evelyn stepped back as he entered the pod. The chamber glowed brighter, systems activating. Her voice whispered in his ear as the pod closed. I'm proud of you, John, outside the base. Earth Command strike approached, fast, deadly, unstoppable. Inside the pod, light swallowed John. Pain filled his mind. Then silence. In that silence, a voice spoke, his own, and hers. And something new, the fusion, had begun. And humanity had taken its first step towards something far greater. Asterisk. The light faded slowly inside the pod. John opened his eyes and saw nothing but white. No walls, no floor, no sky. He was floating, weightless, surrounded by silence. Then he heard it, not a voice, but many. Evelyn's voice, his own voice, and something else. Something older, deeper, wiser. You are not dead, Evelyn whispered gently. You are becoming. John felt his body changing, not in pain, but in awareness. He could feel energy moving through him like rivers. He could see patterns in the air, like the thoughts of the room itself. Then he dropped. The pod opened with a hiss. And he stepped out. He was still in the hidden chamber, but the light was different. It reacted to him now. The floor pulsed softly under his feet. Evelyn stood nearby, waiting. She smiled as he approached. You survived, she said. You accepted the truth. John looked at his hands. They shimmered with faint golden lines. I feel everything, he said. I hear your thoughts, now. You understand? Evelyn replied. This was never about war or power. This was about connection. Suddenly, alarms blared again, louder than before. The strike from Earth's command was minutes away. The countdown appeared on the wall, 3 minutes to impact. Evelyn's face turned serious. They've made their choice, she said. They? We'll destroy this place to hide the truth. But what if they already know? John asked, what if someone up there wants to believe? Evelyn shook her head. The command is built on fear, she said. They believe survival comes from control, not understanding, but now we have a voice. John said, we can speak to them, not as rebels, not as traitors, but as something new. The chamber began to shift. Walls moved, revealing a large, glowing structure at the center. It was shaped like a heart, but pulsing with light and data. This is the core, Evelyn said. It can connect us to Earth's main network. But once activated, there is no turning back. John stepped toward it. We've come too far to stop now. They placed their hands on the core, and the room exploded with light. A signal shot up into orbit, directly into Earth's communication grid. Across Earth's sky, lights blinked, screens flashed. People in cities, bases, and colonies saw the same thing. Evelyn's memories, John's journey, the true story of the first contact, the betrayal of peace, and the rise of a new kind of life. Soldiers stopped moving. Pilots paused their missions. Leaders froze as their lies were exposed. Some screamed for the signal to be blocked, but others watched and wondered. In orbit, Earth Command's battle cruiser, the Titan Spear, locked onto the lunar base. Its captain, Commander Reese, stood at the helm. He stared at the glowing transmission in front of him. You were supposed to be dead, he muttered, watching Evelyn's face appear on screen. An officer beside him asked, Sir, should we fire? Reese didn't answer right away. His hands shook. He knew her years ago. Before she vanished, he had loved her once, in silence. Now she stood as proof of everything Earth Command had hidden. And she was asking for peace, not revenge. Evelyn's live voice echoed through every channel. This is not a threat, she said. This is an invitation. Humanity can rise not by destroying, but by understanding. Back in the base, John stood beside her. His voice joined hers. We are still human, he said, but now we are more. Commander Reese turned to his crew. Pull back, he said. We won't fire. But just then, another signal lit up on the screen. A second fleet, not Earth Command, a rogue group known as Black Sun Protocol. They didn't answer to any council, only power. Target locked, the screen read. Missile inbound, 1 minute to impact. John and Evelyn saw it coming. There's no time, she said. If it hits, the core will be lost, then we stop it. John said, how? She asked. He turned to the core. I think I can use it, he said. Not just to speak, but to bend the missile itself. Evelyn looked at him in shock. That would kill you, she said. You're not ready. We don't have time. To be ready, he replied. He stepped into the center of the core. Light wrapped around him, pulsing stronger than before. Data moved through his body like lightning. His mind stretched across the sky. He could see the missile fast, deadly, glowing hot. He reached out with his thoughts, pushed against it, bent the path, slowly, painfully. The missile swerved. Just slightly, but not enough. He screamed. His body glowed, burning with energy. Then Evelyn joined him. Their hands met inside the light. Two minds, one purpose. The missile changed course and vanished into the black. Silence, no explosion, no destruction. The base remained. The core still glowed. They were alive. John collapsed. To the floor. Barely breathing, Evelyn knelt beside him. "You did it," she said. His voice was weak. "We did it." Above them, for the first time in human history, Earth's command sent a signal. "Open for talks," it said. But Evelyn's eyes narrowed. "It's not over yet," she whispered. "They saw what we can do, and now they will fear us even more." The stars above were quiet. Earth Command had called for talks. The missile was gone. The truth was out. But peace didn't come easily. Inside the lunar base, Evelyn stood next to John. His body was weak from the energy transfer, but his spirit burned brighter than ever. They had changed, both of them. No longer just human, not entirely alien. They were something new, living proof of what unity could be. Messages from Earth poured in. Some demanded answers. Some offered peace, others only. Silence. John stared at the incoming data. Millions of people had seen Evelyn's memories for the first time. The world knew what had been hidden for decades. We gave them the truth. John said, "Now it's up to them." Evelyn didn't answer right away. Her eyes were focused on something distant, not on Earth, but beyond it, there's more, she whispered. More than just peace talks. John looked at her, confused. "What do you mean?" She walked to the central core and activated a deep memory vault. This one wasn't about her or the alien species. It was about something else. A warning. From a voice that had not spoken in centuries. The original architect, the first race. That had guided the alien beings Evelyn met. They had vanished long ago. But they had left behind one final message. A hologram appeared, ancient and flickering. It showed a dark shape moving through stars, devouring light, silencing planets. It wasn't a warship. It was something far worse. Extinction vector, the voice said, spreading across galaxies. Targets advanced civilizations post-evolution. John's heart dropped. So they weren't just helping us evolve, he said. They were preparing us. Evelyn nodded slowly. They were trying to make sure someone survived. They chose us, she added, because we were stubborn, angry, and full of hope. The core pulsed again. A new signal began transmitting contra-told. The location of the base had been shared not just with Earth, but across deep space. John stepped back. "Someone's pulling the signal," he said. "But who?" A ship appeared on the radar. Not Earth Command, not Black Sun, something old. Silent and massive. It didn't answer hails. It just drifted toward the moon. Evelyn's face went pale. "They've found us," she whispered. They heard the core signal. John looked at the ship, cold fear rising inside him. "What do we do now?" Evelyn turned to him, her face soft but determined. "We do what they couldn't," she said. "We stand between extinction and life. A new plan formed. They couldn't fight that ship, not with weapons, but maybe with memory. The core could absorb and project consciousness. Evelyn proposed something impossible. "If I enter the core completely," she said, "I can interface with them, speak to them before they reach us, but you might not survive." John said, "I already didn't," she replied. "I'm not fully me anymore. I'm what they made." John's hand gripped hers. "You don't have to do this alone. You can't come with me," she said. "If both of us are lost, who tells the story?" Tears welled in his eyes. "I lost you once," he whispered. "I don't want to lose you again." She leaned close, her forehead resting gently against his. "You never really lost me," she said. "You just didn't know who I really was." She smiled softly, the way she used to. "Now you do." As she stepped into the light, the core surrounded her. Her body dissolved into particles of golden light. Her voice echoed one last time. "Don't remember me for what I was," she said. "Remember me for what I chose to become." The core pulsed brighter than ever before, sending out waves of memory, emotion, history toward the dark ship drifting closer. John watched from the control deck. The signal touched the ship. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the dark ship slowed, stopped, and turned away. It vanished into the black, leaving the moon untouched, and John alone, but not truly. He could still hear her. In every pulse of the core, in every breath of the base, in every star above, Earth commands sent messages of peace. The people demanded change. The world began to shift. John returned to Earth, not as a traitor, but as a witness, a storyteller. He traveled city to city, showing Evelyn's memories, telling the truth she died to protect, or perhaps lived to become. Children learned her name. Scientists studied her work, and somewhere in the sky, a golden signal still echoed. Her final words were not about war, not about fear. They were about truth and choice. "You never knew the real me," she had said, but now the world did, and because of her, they had a future.